Just smile. You in the back room with Becky. And that's Kurt Franklin's new release. No matter how bad things are, sometimes you just gotta smile. Smile anyway. That's what's up. Good afternoon. You're probably just getting the morning edition because uh, it's a crazy day. It's a crazy day in the neighborhood. It's tantalizing Tuesday or tenacious Tuesday. Everything that has to be done got to be done now. So we are one day away from Hump Day. We need to be celebrating that we made it through another day. And thank God, people don't get to just change policy just because they don't like it. Yeah, I'm talking about the Donald. Um, Someone made a statement earlier on today when I went on air. The reason I went on air this morning without makeup, in my robe, just probably foaming at the mouth, you still in the back room with Becky, but it was so upsetting because now he's giving preemptive announcements that, oh, I have one more thing about the president. How do you have time to persecute the president of the United States? I guess your kids is doing all the work now. Well, I said earlier, Donald, that I have concerns about your mental health. And all you got to do is go back in my archives and you will see that him and Charlie Sheen, I'm worried about them. These brothers, let me tell you, Charlie and and Donald Trump must be smoking up the same crack pipe. And I'm gonna say why. Because it seems as though that euphoric feeling that comes from narcotics. Not that I have firsthand information on that. I'm merely speaking of the times when I had surgery and I had to take narcotics and I knew how they affected you. Sometimes a feeling of euphoria follows the use of narcotics. Euphoria means a state of well-being where you just, ooh, everything is all good. Well, Charlie did not get custody of his children. He lost one of his goddesses. And the young lady from Black Swan is not going to be joining his tour. And they moved you in New York. Now, last time I checked, you was on your way to Florida, and I have not checked on you since. But I wanted to say, you still got bad vibes around you. There's too much going on. Um, and, when he said the violent torpedo of truth, he actually spoke into existence just exactly what the situation was going to be. It's going to be violent, and a torpedo is a bomb, okay? So he's bombing violently, and we're in a recession. What do people get $75 to pay to go see a Charlie Sheen? I mean, if I got $75 extra laying around, I think I probably would put it in my gas tank or on a bill, and not necessarily would I be spending that money going to see Charlie Sheen. So this is one time that I have to actually say, "You go, Charlie. You add revenue, so I guess you are winning in that aspect, in that regard." Um, Conversation came up about Celebrity Apprentice, and I had already said, and it's like I don't know if it's just me or if the press is like one step behind me, or the things that I think are important, they don't figure out that it's important until after I've said it. Um, Not that MSNBC or anybody is sitting there waiting with bated breath, but you know, the Twitter is a monster, baby. When I post to YouTube, it automatically goes to Twitter. It automatically goes to Facebook. It automatically goes to MySpace. So all the social networks have an opportunity to see what I'm dialoguing about and to go back and read the articles that I make a reference to. So I go in leaving links so you don't have to say, where did she get that? Where did she get that from? Where I got from was on Donald Trump's own mouth. Donald needs a muzzle. You know, we used to put down mad dogs down in the country when they foaming at the mouth and they're a danger to themselves and others. You know, I never saw anybody personally put down a dog because that would just be devastating to me. I'm an animal lover. So, you know, I'm not a proponent of putting down animals, but in the natural course of things, when a creature has outlived its usefulness and said creature is menacing the community and may be at risk to other people getting sick with his madness, they would just put him down. Okay? You saw some Kill a Mockingbird. They weren't playing. They dropped that dog where he was. Am I calling Donald Trump a dog? Yeah. Pretty much. He is like a dog with a bone. He will not let it go. And, you know, in my family, I have the same reputation. You know, they call me the pit bull. It's all right. We're going to let the pit bull loose. Any kind of business affairs, when it comes to health care in my family, when it comes to negotiating real estate, they don't. My sister is the one with all the degrees in accounting, but she will acquiesce and sit back and say, no, let Becky negotiate. You know why? Because I was trained in the old school of telemarketing, where they told you never accept a no from someone who doesn't have the authority to tell you yes in the first place. And that brings us back to the Donald. So when the Donald is raging and making a big fuss about this birth certificate, you know, again, I ask you, who are you that was, who are you? You know, really, Donald Trump, you are taking yourself too seriously. I'm afraid that glue is working on your brain cells. You know, somebody ought to check into that for real. I mean, I make jokes about it all the time, but I know from weave, if your weave is too tight in your head, you will have a bad attitude all day. You will sleep Chicago style to keep from hurting your head. Now, there's two things I know about business people. One, they're not going to shoot off at the mouth if they think it's going to interfere with them making money. Thus far, it has not interfered with Donald Trump making money. And yes, he is the number one money maker for a lot of charitable causes. I listen. In and of itself, I don't have a problem with the Donald. I have a problem with his actions and his words. If he were being a reasonable American under the circumstances with everything that's going on, I am waiting on the Donald to show a sense of decorum and shut the fuck up. Yes, I said it. You heard it right here. Don't get upset by the F word because you might hear it a lot more times before this issue is over. I tried to move on to something else, but it seems like it's just one of those things that people are so passionate about. Um, you know, they were looking for a reason to be angry with Obama anyway. Get over yourself. I don't have to search for reasons to be disturbed with the Donald because Donald has done so much. Uh, you know, he went in on Rosie O'Donnell, he went on Barbara Walters, he went in on Elizabeth Hasselhoff, he went in on Robert De Niro, and you know, I know Robert De Niro played gangsters on TV, and he's not really a gangster, but he's gangster. I would not be saying nothing if I was Donald Trump. Now, mind you, he's in New York, and it's the multinational city of the USA. First stop from Ellis Island. Okay, you talking about gays, you talking about blacks, you talking about whites, you talking about Jewish people. You have not left out anybody to be insulted. Donald Trump, I'm talking to you. Who am I that you should answer my question? Oh, I'm just an average, everyday citizen watching how you move because everything you're doing is telling me what not to do as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are supposed to be an asset to their community. You're just an ass. You're in the back room with Becky and you got something to say. We're here all day. Donald Trump, asset or just an ass to the people?